What I'm going to do over the next few minutes literally is take you through some of the historical work that we've been doing on carbon in our industry, what our current priorities are now and what we are looking to do in the future. Now I'm going to start with a quick quiz question for you. So what I'd like to do is ask you, what is the embodied CO2 of an average tonne of concrete that is supplied in the UK? So a show of hands please, who thinks the answer is A, 910 kilograms? Okay, we've got about a third of you think it's 910. Okay, what about 76? That's probably a half-ish, just over a half. Okay, and what about 5? Nobody. Okay, the majority of you were correct. The answer is 76. The reason I ask this is that I still regularly hear a little bit of a misconception that a tonne of concrete has a tonne of embodied CO2. And as you can see, that's the actual figures are quite some way out. Now, forgive me if this slide is a little bit obvious to many of you, but when you see a mixer truck delivering materials, very often people think that that mixer truck is full of cement. It's not full of cement, it's actually full of concrete. And concrete is a mixture of, yes, some cement, typically 5 to 15%, but it also contains other materials, so aggregates such as sand, gravel, crushed rock, cement replacements such as fly ash, ground blast furnace slag, admixtures. Now we use admixtures to improve the material properties of concrete, but also to lower the carbon and the water content. And then also in some of the precast concretes that we sell, you'll see steel reinforcement in there as well. So that's the way that concrete is made. Now, as an industry in the UK, we've been working on the climate challenge actually for decades. And in the UK, we have a Sustainable Concrete Forum, which I'm very privileged to chair. And that forum contains the entire concrete supply chain for the UK industry. And we've set out a common vision for our strategy to tackle the climate challenge and indeed the wider sustainability challenge. We've also set a series of targets that we want to meet on a number of indicators over the coming years, one of those being carbon. And we also, interestingly, we report on our progress as a sector annually. We produce an annual sustainability report which is freely available. And we have come a fair way. We've reduced our carbon intensity by 25.7% since the 1990 baseline. And as you can see, we continue on that trajectory and we're about to meet our 2020 target a little bit earlier on. So the answer for me there is we need to push ourselves and challenge ourselves a bit more. However, if you look at the right-hand side, the pie chart there, you'll see that predominantly still the main component of carbon within concrete is cement. So that's where our focus has to be. So what are we doing about that at the moment? Well, one of the big tools that we have in the box in terms of reducing the carbon footprint of cement is to substitute fossil fuels with waste-derived alternative fuels. Now in Cemex in the UK, we've moved from around 10% consumption of those to around 60% now. And these fuels are derived from the non-recyclable part of household and industrial waste. So it's black bin waste, basically, that we turn into a fuel, and it's around 50 to 60% biomass as well. So it's really helping us to drive that footprint down. We're substituting that initiative with a number of other initiatives around energy, process and transport optimization, using these innovative admixtures to bring the cement content of concrete down whilst keeping its strength characteristics. And we're also using a lot of other waste-derived materials to feed into the concrete supply chain. And as an industry now, and indeed within Cemex, we're now using over 100 times more of these materials than waste we're actually producing. So we're a net waste consumer as an industry. We also, certainly within Cemex, offer a bespoke mix design service. We've now got over 5,000 different concrete mix designs in our system, and we're able to design concretes in a very bespoke way for particular projects. So please don't assume that a mixer truck full of concrete is always the same constituents. It's not. And finally, and very importantly, we're working both at a UK and a global stage as an industry to work on our carbon performance. So we started by transparently and openly reporting, and we're now working on technical innovation across the industry, both locally and at a global level. Now, I come on to a very key point, and to be honest, it's one that has been touched on today, and that is that certainly as Cemex in the UK, we've developed a number of low carbon solutions, and I have to be honest and I say the uptake of them is woefully small. And these solutions are not necessarily compromises. They are things that we could be doing now and we're not doing. This particular project perhaps is a little bit more extreme, but it is a real one. And that is where a client's specification was grossly over specified and over engineered, and we were able, by working together, to bring that carbon down from 131 kilograms a tonne to 55. We could be doing a lot more of this, and we could be doing a lot more of it now. So I plead to you that if carbon's on your agenda, please come and talk to us, because we can help you. Also, as an industry in the UK, we have a wealth of information available to help you design lower carbon and more sustainable concretes, and the 3 websites there contain a huge amount of information that is freely available for you to go and find and see, and it's stuff that we've invested in, and it's fairly easy to follow. So again, there is plenty of information to help us address the carbon challenge. And I think the combination of those last 2 slides is something where, if we all went away tomorrow and acted on this, we could make a bit of a step change straight away without actually too many barriers and difficulties in place. Now, I want to just look to the future a little bit. The Mineral Products Association in the UK was one of the first sectors to produce a low carbon roadmap. This roadmap that you see here is for the cement industry in the UK. It contains 2 different scenarios. One is with carbon capture and storage, one is without. As you can see, we are fairly reliant on that to meet the UK commitment. But more excitingly, there is a project which is now well underway, and it's a EU Horizon funded project, also funded by industry. And we've now got a pilot plant to a final design stage in Belgium. It's real breakthrough technology, this, and it's separating the carbon process emissions from cement manufacturer to be able to be captured. And we've got a visitor centre opening at that location towards the end of this year. It's a really, really exciting development. And we've also got a project running where we're using the thermal properties of concrete to balance the electricity grid as well. So there's some real good innovations coming through, looking ahead to the future. So just to finish, I've got 3 key messages. So the first one is our sector does take the construction climate challenge very seriously. We have acted on it, we're very committed to acting on it in the future. The uptake of the stuff that is available today is low, so please let's continue to find these procurement and collaboration solutions that we were talking about earlier on. And then finally, as a sector, we are investing in these much needed breakthrough technologies to take us to the next level, and we're doing that now. So thank you very much, and speak to you later.